Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Way Up Trading. Now, today I want to go over a great play, a fantastic play we're actually able to take today on the inside the Way Up Trading group. Awesome play that we executed from open to close as a swing play, and that's on none other than NKLA, NKLA. If you're following along on Twitter, we also posted this a little later on to potentially take the move. Hopefully you're following. If you're not, make sure you follow. The link is down in the description. Awesome play. We're going to go over the steps, what we saw, and also where we think this thing is heading in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to do all of that right after this.
Money, 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 money.
All right, now I got the chart on the screen here for NKLA, and this is the one-day chart here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what the setup is looking like for this thing and how we're able to catch this huge move that almost ran roughly 20% on the opening move of the day after a little small retrace and go. And I actually posted this here in the Way Up Trading group, and man, we were able to catch a huge move to the upside and make a nice profit on the trade. And the setup was there, cleanly able to be seen, and basically want to go over it here with us, with you guys today. And basically here you can see that in the daily chart, we've been in this situation where we've been playing a falling wedge pattern since the last run up that the stock has had back since June of 2020, where it saw its all-time highs, which is roughly around the $94 mark. Ever since that point in time, once it came back into its general trading range, it's been basically playing the top side and bottom side of this falling wedge pattern, getting smaller and smaller on smaller durations, almost having this U type of setup here, constantly back and forth between levels, all the way up until it actually fell out of its general trading range, which is between the $20 mark, believe it or not, and generally the $1.50 range. So basically what happened here was that we were able to catch that this is now below its general trading range, $3 and $1.50. And basically we're able to see here that underneath this trading range, we're going to consider this to be a spring location, which actually wound up being exactly what took place after we got a breakout and retest of this falling wedge. So I'm going to go into a closer time frame here to take a better look at it. I'm just going to pull up the 4-hour time frame. And the other day, NKLA was actually able to get a very sizable move, roughly about a 20% move earlier this month. And we were basically playing the bounce off of that particular move that took place earlier this month. There is a basic general area of support that was created, roughly about the $1.26 mark, basically just about here. And that's where we were able to catch our bounce. I knew that was going to wind up being a very strong support for us. That support level held true after this break of the wedge, came back and tested support this morning and started to make its way. Let's move into the 1-hour time frame. Now, several targets here already lined up for 158, 174, 202, 226, 241, and 264 are my top locations here for this particular stock in the near term. Calls were actually picked up were slightly out of the money at $2. July 21st, 2023 calls. Looking at the 1-hour chart, you can clearly see after that breakout that we had of the falling wedge. Here's this red line here marked. You can see it broke through and started to make its way progressively up and breaking that 126 level that we had as support from previously. And once it broke that, it just went parabolic up to about the $1.83 mark before coming back down, consolidating, and then starting to retest that area. It's just slightly under the 126 level. You can see that there was a track that actually was created, or a bullish channel that it found support in, and we were able to track this and catch this morning. Last night to this morning when we were doing the review, and posted all about it this morning within the trading group. This bullish channel basically was where the price returned to after basically being bought back down after that huge move that it had earlier in the month. Started to consolidate and break back over that 126 mark, which just basically told us that this was game on. This actually occurred on yesterday's trade day, which is roughly about a small move up. And then from there, we had all our crosses that lined up as well into the morning hours. So this morning, we went ahead and alerted that, hey, this thing is going to move. Let's get prepared into our positions early on because this thing is going to pop. And basically exactly what happened is just that. Moving into the 30-minute time frame here, and here's a closer look at the move. You can see that earlier on, this is in pre-market. There's a light brown shaded area here. You can see the pre-market time frame hits the top of this bullish pennant that you have set up here at the bottom here at this end, top coming from the high of the other day. And you can see in pre-market it hit the top here. We're in preparation for this thing to come back down after crossing below the midline, testing this bottom where you did in the morning get a full-fledged dump down to about that 126 level we spoke about earlier. And this was the time frame for us to get into position, because that's when volume fully took off. Once it entered back into this position and volume flowed in, I knew it was time to go. posted it, had that actually posted on Twitter when I was actually getting on into the move, and it was game on from there. You can see we rebounded. We had the 921 cross here that took place yesterday and continued on today. Into today, the small dump, but we never got a recross or downside cross of the 921 moving average. We were well above the 200 moving average, which is way down here around the 120 mark. And that flush today was definitely a false move, a bear trap in a sense, and this thing just skyrocketed back up. Huge volume came up in the morning, and we got this push all the way up to about $1.55 from a low of about 126. And that move was a huge 24% move in a 30-minute period bar. Huge move to catch. Getting a great gain on this thing, posted it all online, and it was a fantastic play all the way throughout. It was cut short, I believe, but this thing could have gone a lot further on and most likely broken my target here that I had at 158. You can see we were cleanly rejected at that 158 target, and we actually started to waterfall back down throughout the rest of the day before rebounding here at the bottom of the channel and start to play that midline one more time. In after hours, you can see we're still kind of consolidating around that area, looking to potentially make that next push with a new influx of volume after most likely going into tomorrow and the days to come. I don't believe the move is over yet on NKLA. I think we do have a lot more upside to come. We were way out in advance with our calls, so we have these all the way to July 21st. So plenty of time to let the move take shape and move forward. I do believe that the market is still bullish. However, we did have Powell come out and basically axe things down, like Powell tends to do. So in this situation, unfortunately, we didn't get the whole move in one shot. But either way, great gain on a big move that we saw clearly, and was excellent technical analysis. And congratulations to anybody that got into the play. Kudos and all the best to you on that. Here it is again on the 5-minute time frame. You can see that the 921 cross took place this morning on the 5 minutes, downward in the pre-market, and had that beautiful bounce right here on the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. Again, different than the 30-minute time frame we looked at a few minutes ago, but that was the clear indication of it's time to get in and let's go. Once we got that cross to the upside on the 921 on that 5-minute time frame, rocket ship. About 20-25% move straight up. Just, you couldn't ask for more. That was amazing. It was an amazing move. We caught it in advance. We did great TA on this thing, handed it out to everybody to take advantage of it. Hopefully we're able to catch a piece of this move because it was a good one, and I do believe that there's more upside to come as the days progress. I don't believe the bull market that we're in currently is over yet, so let's look forward. We're looking forward for this thing to continue to move, but again, we like to take profits on the way up as the price is moving in our direction, in our favor. Lock those gains in, stack and build. After we got that 921 cross there, we hit our resistance level that we had marked, which was at the 158 level. We're unable to break it. I did also mention on Twitter, if we can break that 158 level, our next target would have been somewhere around the 174 mark. However, we are still in a accumulation style setup, looking like it's getting ready for another move. It was held in this bull pennant set type of setup for a little while, or a bull flag type of setup for a while. You can see I have the yellow line as a downtrend, as well as the red line, which was the support, which was previously the resistance from the bull pennant that I showed you a little earlier on the 30-minute time frame. That's a full retest of that bull pennant where we started to make our move back up, but it was just held down because of a lot of bearish pressure that was going on in the market throughout the day. Kind of left in this limbo state, trading sideways throughout the remainder of the evening. So total on the day, we finished at 9.09% on the day. Very nice move, pretty much about half the gain on the day overall. Would have been a nice move on shares, nonetheless, if you're looking to swing shares, but on options, you know, it's obviously a lot more leverage, so a lot more upside if you play the chart properly. But either way, good move. Congratulations on it if you were able to get in. So in the short term, you can see that this looks more like a Wyckoff style accumulation. In the short term on the 5-minute chart, this would be considered a preliminary supply down to a sell climax, which would be here. Up here, this pushback up would be considered an automatic reaction. From there is another sell test that takes place, which operates as a spring, a sell test, and then this goes down into a lower spring area here. From there, a spring comes back up, and then you get a spring test, which wind up here around the $139 mark, $1.39 mark. To now we're hoping to get to that last point of support, which I believe is somewhere around the 148 to 150 mark. If we can start to see that, that will continue to complete this cup into the next day or two, which we'd find support and probably find a move style similar to something like this, playing the midline, finding a last level support somewhere around that 150 to 153, and then look to eventually break this 158 mark before making the push higher to this 174 portion that we're talking about for our next leg up on this stock. As long as the rest of the market can actually hold up, the move's not over, upside would continue. Worst case scenario that I can see here, if it doesn't play out and the rest of the SPY and the rest of the indexes are continuing to be bearish, possibility we could then play this downside here, which is about the 200 moving average on NKLA, as well as this bottom of this trend line we have measured out, potentially breaking it, getting this move to then test the smooth moving average on the stock, which is roughly around the 137 to 138 mark. A potential double bottom here at the 126 mark. Hopefully that's not the case. That would completely suck, but stock market moves the way the stock market moves. But even with that being the case, there would be a potential opportunity to play the double bottom, possibly even dollar cost average to get the next move up, just to get out of the contracts, or potentially move them into a situation where you'd be potentially profitable further on down the line, or for a shorter time frame to hedge your longer term position, possibly even weeklies or whatever the case might be. I'm just going to take a look at some of the other indicators that I use on my standard charts when looking at momentum plays. You can see that the smooth moving average is exactly where we found support on the 4-hour time frame. We're sitting right here, right on top of it. Huge location to be holding, preparing for our next move up. You can see even again this bull flag setup here, a bull pennant setup, which is ready to break even one more time to the upside. So we're waiting for that to occur. This is a very big level to be on top of, and our indicators also support this move we're talking about. We had our volume. Obviously, you can see this volume section here shows that we had a green candle bar finish above the midline. Huge location to be above as well. Not to mention, we have our MACD now showing the histogram here, and MACD about to cross up on a 4-hour time frame. The lighter and lighter bars showing smaller and smaller iterations, looking like they're ready to start to break up to the upside, back into the green position. Also, the MACD line, the cross line, is about to occur roughly very soon on the 4-hour time frame. Same thing here with the RSI. RSI has not fully crossed yet, and we're still holding this area, which is pretty much a big deal. So we're looking like we're really going to start to move very soon, as long as the rest of the market can hold up. Once we get this cross above here on the RSI, it's go time. We're going toward that $2 mark very soon. Our max momentum has cooled off a bit, being that we could now cross down on the max momentum indicator. Have crossed down a little bit due to the fact that we did have a little bit of a pullback. Fed Chair Powell inquisition today, so things actually wound up pulling back a little bit. Not enough momentum continued to the upside, but I expect this to be fully resolved and recovered going into the next couple of days out. Same situation applies here for our KST indicator. You can see the KST has now crossed back downward, so that's an indication that that momentum is now to the downside, potentially for a short period of time, but it is not fully crossed, and it is slightly starting to curl. So we'll see how things continue to play out, but we do need this indicator to show cross back above to get the next move. Good thing about this, it is on an uptrend. As you can see, we are playing a steady uptrend, and I expect it to hold before breaking out to the next section here above the KST line. Wyckoff trend oscillator also showing that it is now still in the green position, meaning that we have not topped out yet, and we still have ways to go before we reach our next top. The last top you can see here lit up light green just before it actually came back down after touching that 183 mark it touched the other day. Came back, obviously got the reaccumulation set up here, and now is ready for the next push. Again, still showing potential for a higher high, meaning that the trend is upward. The trend happens to be an upward trend on this indicator. And last of all, long-term targets here for the one-day chart. We still have the $2.50 mark, 2,060 mark here, sitting at the 200 moving average on this stock. This stock has been in the $3 range before, $4 range not that long ago. At the end of last year was a very common area to be in, so I can see potential upside up there if we can go ahead and break this 200 moving average on the daily chart. Great opportunity to do some if you're going long on shares. Not a bad point to do it either. If we do get that hold, very easily can start to see this range. It sounds crazy, but it is possible to go ahead and see around the $5 mark if we can get the type of push that I think we can still see on the SPY. I don't think we're completely done with the SPY move yet. I don't think we're done with the broader market moving up to the upside for quite a little while, possibly going into the middle of end of July. We may see some kind of a pullback, but I think this thing is still moving forward, and a lot of stocks are still showing bullish momentum to the upside from this point forward. Just a slight pullback was necessary, but I don't think this game is over yet. So that wraps it up for this particular video. If you like content like this, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Join us on the way up. We're going to be here each and every day, growing our portfolios together and making the outcome income for 2023. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the trading group, Way Up Trading. Link is in the description. Follow me on Twitter as well. Post a lot of high quality plays there. Talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.